back to my channel. It's Rachel. I am going a little bit off of my normal Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday upload schedule. This is a Friday. I'm going to get this filmed and up tonight. But I have a bunch of things coming through right now and I want to do a bunch of videos on things. So I figure I'll do a couple extra because it's spring break and I'm actually off this week and I have to sit around to the house today because we're waiting on a shipment. But today's video is going to be on the Wonder Beauty's newest palette, the Wanderess Fling. This came out maybe a week or so ago. Sorry, this is from my video the other night. I haven't removed my nail polish. I literally just have it on one finger. It's very odd. But anyway, this is the newest palette. I did previous reviews, which I will post above and below on these. This is the Wanderess Off Duty, which I believe you can still buy at Sephora. And this one is the Wanderess Chill, which you can buy, or maybe it's out of stock. This one is probably out of stock from what I was looking at. And it's not available at Sephora anymore, but it is available at Wonder Beauty site. I love these palettes, like these palettes. They're awesome. I love Wonder Beauty in general as a company. I find that their products overall are very much a hit for me. There's a few misses here and there. So when I saw this, I didn't really hesitate and I just bought it immediately. Like it literally have been on a very good, like, I'm not going to buy everything. And then I saw this and kind of broke that. So these palettes cost $25, which is honestly quite expensive if you think about, you know, the size of the palettes. You only get 6 shades. They are, there's one kind of matte satin shade and then the rest, the 5 are shimmers. This is kind of in line with their previous palettes. The Off Duty here, as you can see, there's one matte shade and then the rest, these are more satiny shimmers. And same with the Chill, which is their cool tone purpley pink palette. And again, you have your one matte shade and then the rest are shimmers. This one was a little bit different because it was definitely more foiled shades, which was new. And I've been playing with this for a good solid week and I can tell you that the formula has changed on this product. Just a few little things about this before I swatch, and then I'll give you guys a demo and tell you all my thoughts on this product. Oh, and I don't have any new beauty news for you guys today. I didn't really do a bunch of looking up stuff, so I apologize. I've been out and enjoying time with my family. We went to the what was it? The Arboretum, or the Botanical Gardens for San Antonio. If you guys ever get a chance to go to San Antonio, everybody thinks of the Alamo, they think of SeaWorld and like all that touristy stuff, and those are fun. But if you have a chance, you ever come here, go to the Botanical Gardens. That place is fantastic. It's beautiful. It's huge. It's like, we had just a blast and we loved it so much. We actually purchased a membership so we could keep coming back over and over again. It truly is a gem for this area. So if you're ever here on a vacation, because this is a big tourist place, I highly recommend it. It's over by a lot of the other museums and the zoo. So it's kind of in that entire area where people go and explore. Okay, I digress enough. Let me give you my thoughts about this palette. We'll do swatches and I'm going to talk a little bit geeky into some of the formula because I had, like I said, some issues with this palette. And so it actually prompted me to go look at the formula, which is not something I tend to do. So like I said, $25. It is on back order currently on the Wonder Beauty website, but you can buy it on Sephora. It's available. It is supposed to be kind of a purple gold, very springtime palette. It has that vibe with the packaging, very pretty pinks and blues and poppies on there. It's just gorgeous. Like, the packaging is spot on. Wonder Beauty is really known for its travel size stuff, and it's supposed to be one of those things that you can like throw and go. I will say that I don't tend to reach for these palettes as travel palettes because of the fact that they tend to only have one matte shade, which makes it difficult to do a complete eye look. Although this palette and this palette, I am able to do a complete eye look. It's just a little bit harder with the shimmers. I can tell you for a fact that this palette you absolutely cannot use as a standalone palette. It just does not work. This one matte shade here is, it's really almost, well, it's my skin tone. So if you're a darker skin shade, this probably would work better for you. But as you can see, it really just blends away into my skin. And so it's kind of, for me at least, this shade is not very useful except for maybe setting the eyes and maybe just starting with the crease. The other shades are shimmers. This one is more like their old formula, or looks a little bit more like their previous shimmers. It's more muted, less foiled. And then the top row here are foiled. So they all have these beautiful little names of flowers and things that remind you of spring: bouquet, blossom, marigold, Eden, orchid, and cedar. Now let me, I'm gonna pause and swatch these, and I'm gonna get into a little bit about the formula. So hold on a second. All right, back to show you guys the swatches. So these are the swatches. I start from this corner and go over and over. Okay, so here is the first thing. If you'll notice, there are two goldy shades here. This is the shade Bouquet and Marigold. When you saw it on the website, the shades look a little bit different. The Marigold looks a little bit more orangey, and in reality, I honestly can't tell a huge difference between the two. The one Bouquet is maybe a little bit more, which is this one right here, is a little bit more of a kind of just yellowy gold, and this one has a little bit more pink. This is the Marigold, has maybe like a little bit more pink undertone. But honestly, I think that they missed because they put two almost exactly the same shades, and I think that was a poor choice on their part for such a small palette. They would have been better served making one of these shades either, if they're fitting with all the silvers, and I would have done like a really light cream color for an inner highlight, because they're missing that shade. They don't have anything that can work for that. The reason I gravitated towards this palette were these two middle shades here, Blossom and Orchid. They are absolutely stunning. This Blossom is a pink with a kind of goldy orange shift. And it really does show up on the eye as that. If you can see here, it's this one. And it is beautiful. And then this other one, Orchid, which is this stunning purple shade with just a little bit of a kind of a silvery gold shift to it, even maybe a little bit of pink. It's beautiful and stunning color. Cedar is a very underrated color. It is actually a really stunning, really pigmented brown. Okay, so let's get into my problems with this palette now that we've talked about the swatches and everything. This swatch, absolutely gorgeous. And on first impressions, this palette was amazing, minus the fact that they had two shades that are really, really close together. They went on the eye very easily. There was a little bit of fallout, but nothing insane. And so on first impression, this palette was awesome. I loved it. But then I put it on and I would tape a thing, and then like an hour later I'd go look and my makeup was basically gone. And I was like, what is going on? So I played with this with multiple primers, without primers, with glitter glue to kind of figure out how to make this work. So basically what I found out is these shimmer shades go on beautifully, swatch beautifully, look very pigmented, and then they just flake off your eye within like an hour. And so even with really nice primers, and hold on a second here, I used my NARS primer, which works for everything. I left it tacky, I didn't set it, I set it, I tried both ways, and both times within about 2 hours, the eyeshadow had completely flaked off. I did not get that with these, which I thought was weird. Okay, so then I tried it with concealer. I did this one, which I've used for others. This is the Maybelline Fit Me, and again, same thing. That did not blend well on the mascara, on this set and not set. So then I tried it without any sort of primer, because sometimes I find that primers are a little too sticky, and it went on beautifully without a primer. And all the videos you see for Wonder Beauty show them putting it on without a primer and just going like it's like effortless. And so I was like, okay, maybe I'm making this too complicated. Maybe I don't need a primer. Maybe I don't need to conceal my eyelid. Maybe I just need to put it on and go. And mind you, I tried it with brushes, with my silicone brushes, with my fingers, with a wet brush, okay? And I put it on, and I literally just put a swatch of Orchid and a swatch of Blossom, and then I sat in my bed and played on the internet for an hour. And I went back and I looked, and all the orchid had fallen off. Most of the blossom had fallen off. And I'm like, where is my eyeshadow? And under my eye, it was just this line of eyeshadow. Like it had flaked off my eye onto my eyelid. And I had noticed that previously, like it had been flaking onto my actual eyelashes. Like at the end of filming with the other ones, I would just see like my eyelashes coated in the color, okay? So this stuff just falls off your eyes. So I was really disappointed. And then last night I gave it one last ditch effort and I used glitter primer. This is just a NYX glitter primer, very inexpensive, and it actually stuck. Oh, hold on, I hear the door. All right, let me see where I was. Sorry, we're expecting a shipment from Home Depot. We're getting like or Lowe's or someplace like that, like a bucket for our tractor. We live on an acre and our entire yard was unimproved when we moved in. And so we're expecting like a bucket so we can like haul plants and rocks and other things across our yard because we live on a hill. So I thought that was them. It wasn't. It was a package for my husband. Okay, sorry. So last ditch effort, I put on NYX glue. I did a bunch of stuff. Like 3-4 hours later, I went and looked, and I had minimal fallout. The color was still fairly vibrant. So the shimmer shades, at least, these foils, you need to use a glitter glue or glitter primer. That's the only way I can make these work. So to me, that is very disappointing, because these are supposed to be travel, easy, get to go palettes, and I have to use a very specific product to make them stay. And I haven't, like even with a lot of glitters, I haven't had to do that. So that is definitely not a good thing. Oh, sorry, here's my kitty. You can see her tail there. She's been hiding under the bed, apparently. All right, so that leads me into the discussion of why. Why is this different? So I actually did some research last night. I went on their website and I did a look at the difference between the old palettes and the new palettes to try to figure it out. And one thing I first noticed, like I said, is the old palettes, the shimmers are, I'm just gonna swatch a few of these to show you guys the difference in the shimmers on how these look. So the shimmers are much closer to that brown formula, but you can tell like totally, let me do a different one here. Totally different than, let's say, the foiled ones, like can you see this is a much more like soft satiny patina versus these much more vibrant foiled shades. So the first thing I noticed in the difference in the palettes, just of note, is they put in, Wonder Beauty likes to put in all these different products to make your skincare great, even in their makeup products, which is awesome. Obviously a good thing for the most part, but I don't know if that messes up the formula a little bit. So for the Fling palette, they did a few things that were different. So each palette has mango seed butter, but this one has a lot more extracts and things in it that were not in the previous one. So they put in some flower extracts for anti-aging, some different flower oils, and primrose seed extract. These are things that are supposed to help hydrate and help with antioxidants. And when I looked at the Chill and Off Duty palettes, all they had was the mango seed butter, which the other one has, vitamin E, and rose extract. So there's a couple extra anti-aging properties that they put into the eyeshadow. The other thing that I thought was interesting is on the Fling palette, there's a different formula for the mattes than the shimmer shades. And the matte actually performed pretty good. It stayed on my eye. It blended really well. And the matte formula is actually not too far off, although it is a little bit different than the Chill and the Off Duty palette. But the things that I noticed, big time difference with this new palette, is that they had mica as the #1 ingredient, and then a ton of emollients. These things like bis, diglycerol, diphate, and pentaethyl tetraisoterate, and dimethicone, and all of those were up in the top first 5 products. So what does that mean? All of these, when I looked these up, were things like viscosity agents, emollients, emulsifiers, things that help kind of glide it on. And then the next big heavy thing they had in there were tons of things like tin oxide, titanium oxide, iron oxide, mica, the stuff that makes your eyeshadows really glittery. So they had those in here, but not to the same extreme. They started with talc, then they had a synthetic mica product, and then the rest were kind of agents for, like, they had some silicone and some emollient agents, but not to the same extreme. And then they just had some possible hints of mica and some of those others down at the very bottom. So what that tells me is that this Fling palette has a lot of like shimmer agents, mica and all of that. And I guess they were using these emollients to try to make them stick and stick on their eye. And I think they kind of failed in that. They did not get enough of that sticky stuff to get it to stick on the eye. And actually, if you look on these palettes, see how it has that weird texture? When you pull or push on it, it actually, have you ever played with like those magnets where like it has iron particles and you have a magnet and you feel like you're brushing it and it's just kind of moving along? That's what this palette looks like when you're playing with it. I mean, it comes up on your finger really nicely, but it definitely, especially these three shades here, this one, and this one, have that really, really heavily on there. And so I think that it has so much shimmery talcs and irons and things like in that is why it's flaking off, and they just didn't quite get the formulation right. So yeah, that's what I think is going on. All right, I was gonna go somewhere else on this. So that was kind of the gist of it. The other thing I was going to mention on here, I thought was interesting, and maybe this is a change of where they manufactured it. So the first palettes were manufactured in Korea. And so the second palettes were manufactured in Taiwan. So maybe the sourcing of ingredients was different, or the company or the place that they used to manufacture it was different, and that may have played a role into it. All I know is that these blend really beautifully, stay on the eye, really perform well. I don't have to necessarily use any fancy sort of eye product to get them to stick, and this one is very finicky. All right, so those were kind of the gist of the things I wanted to go over it. These are the swatches, like I said. I am going to show you an eye look. Oh, one more thing before we get into that. The other reason I am kind of poo-pooing buying this for you guys, unless you absolutely are just a collector of this makeup product, is when I first saw this, I was like, oh, I have to have this. And then I started looking at my makeup collection and I realized I had a lot of dupes for this. So for $25, it's hard for me, especially when these don't perform that well, to justify going out and buying there. So I got a bunch of single eyeshadows from ColourPop recently, and just in this alone, I have some dupes here. So this shade here, let me pull it up here so I can tell you guys, this shade Over It right here is a fantastic, I believe it's Over It, let me see. Oh, no, sorry, it's not Over It, it's this one here. This shade, Come and Get It, is a fabulous dupe for this shade here, Blossom. So I'm going to put this right next to Blossom here. If you guys can see, I mean, look at that. It looks like the same shade. And the ColourPop eyeshadows, you can get those on sale, the singles, all the time. They're normally like $4 or $5, and you can get them on sale for like $2, $3. But I mean, it is almost identical, and this shade performs so much better. Then the other one that I had a dupe for as well is this shade here. Neutrino is another one that I bought recently, and it is a perfect dupe for Orchid. I mean, it's just like ridiculously perfect dupe for it. So that one right there, so I'm going to swatch it next to it. I mean, can you see? They're almost the exact same. So I'm a little disappointed because when I realized that, I was like, oh gosh, the two shades I was most excited about, I have dupes for. And then of course, these goldy shimmer shades, I mean, you can find dupes for those in about anything. Like, this is a Profusion Cosmetics $6 palette from Target. This shade here, Glory, I mean, it is basically a dupe for one of these. As you can see, a little bit more orangey, but basically the same idea. So do you need this palette? No, absolutely not. And the thing that would make it worthwhile is the fact that you could take it on trips because it's all together, but I wouldn't do that. Like, this is not, I don't know. So basically you can see all the big colors that you care about are dupable. I'm sure that dark brown is dupable as well. I just haven't looked through my entire collection to see if I had a dupe for it, but I'm pretty sure I do somewhere. I'm just looking at what I have here in my room. All right, so I am going to pause and then I'm going to do a little demo of what this looks like. I'll do one eye, stop, do the rest, show you guys the completed look. All right, guys, I just put a little eyeshadow primer and a base on here to set it, and then I'm going to go into Eden, which is that first dark matte shade, and these ones actually work okay with a primed base. The matte shades are really nice. In fact, I don't know why they don't do more of them. Then, because I need a little bit more color, I am going to go into this really pretty color here. What is this called? This is my Silver Linings, which is one of my ColourPop singles right there. It's just kind of like a violet, brownie violet. And I'm just going to put a little bit of it right here. We're not going to do a complicated eye look, like I said. This is not the palette for a complicated eye look. Then we are going to go in and, oh, I hear my child whining in the other room. Hold on one second. Okay, I don't know. She may pop in here. We'll see. She was asking where I was. Okay, so this is my glitter primer. And I'm just going to pop it on my lid here. Let it get a little tacky there. All right. And then we are going to use the color. I think I'm going to do Blossom and Orchid. I'm going to do a real simple look. So I do like these NYX silicone brushes to put these on. Fingers work really well as well, but I want a little bit more precision, so I'm going to go with Orchid. There is a little bit of fallout when you get this. And I'm going to put Orchid on the lid here, if you can see there. As you can see there, it's pretty. It's a very pretty color. And then I'm going to go in with Blossom, which is that pretty pinky color. And I'm going to put it on this inner corner of the lid. And then I'm going to use Marigold, which is kind of that more pinky gold. And I'm just going to kind of use it to blend the center together. Now, these do not work well with brushes. I can tell you that for a fact. When I use these with brushes, they just don't go on at all. So if you're looking for something to use with a brush, I would not use that. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to do the rest, do this eye here, and then come back. And on the underside here, I'm going to use Cedar to kind of line, and then I'm going to go back in with a little bit of Bouquet and do kind of that inner corner, and then I'll do a different color. I really am liking this color here, which is Prowlin from ColourPop as my inner corner highlighter. It's a purpley kind of silver color. So let me pause, do that, and then I'll come back and show you guys the completed look. All right, guys, I'm going to come back and show you guys putting Cedar on the under part here. As you can see, this actually works pretty good. I'm just going to kind of deepen into the corner a little bit here, like that. I'm not going to do much more than that. As you can see, like I went back and I did the other eye. I did put a little bit of the glitter primer. I went back and put it on the underside because I thought about it more and I was like, if I don't put it on the underside, I'm just going to have the same problem when I go to use Mirror or Bouquet, which is the last color. So now I will have used every color to show you guys this. All right, and then we're gonna dip in to the inner highlighter color, which I really like here. That's the one I was showing you guys earlier. The only thing I dislike about the ColourPop palettes is that those build your own is they don't have a freaking mirror. I feel like I get into those when I'm wanting to be creative. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to pause, put some mascara on, some eyeliner. I'll be back and we'll go over our final thoughts. Okay, I'm back. So this is the completed look. It does look really beautiful. Now that I've learned how to use this, like, I really do like the colors. Just some other makeup I used on this. I just got this in the mail. This is the So Juicy Plumping Lip Gloss from ColourPop, and I am so in love with these. They are like very glass-like effect, minty, make my lips feel really cool, not super sticky. And this color, which is partly rowdy, I love these. I am so gonna get more of these. Like, I just bought one to see what I thought of it, and I really like these. So note of things to get. Obviously, I used my singles from my ColourPop as my other color. Oh, I forgot to do this. I always like to a little setting and then just kind of tap everything together. All right, so I didn't do a lot of makeup stuff today, but obviously I used that setting spray. We used the NYX glitter primer. I used the Fit Me Maybelline concealer, which is right now one of my new favorites, which I love because this is like $6 at the drugstore. I used my Morphe highlighter in Extra, my ColourPop Super Shock Shadow Blush in Prenup. I am absolutely adoring these Super Shock blushes recently. And then I didn't have my good bronzer on hand, so I was using this baked highlighter and bronzer. I just used the bronzer part from e.l.f. I actually really like it. It's great for a little drugstore. And then obviously, what else did I use but my Wonder Beauty Unlashed mascara, which I absolutely adore. And then finally on the waterline, I used my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil and Space Dust. I absolutely adore these. So should you buy this? I would not recommend this, and this makes my heart sad because I love Wonder Beauty products, but I truly, truly believe that this product is not worth the $24 or $25. There are so many dupes that you can do elsewhere. The quality is just not what it should be. The colors are beautiful, but it is way too finicky of a product. And then to have two colors that are basically repeats, I just don't think this is worth its money. And I hate to give it a bad review, but it is what it is. So I don't think, unless you're a makeup collector and you just love every palette out there, that this is worth your money. There are other products that I think are worth it, and unfortunately they just kind of missed it on this one, and that is what it is. So there are my thoughts and everything. So thanks guys for watching. Just a little thing, I did get the new green palette from ColourPop. I have not played with it. It came in the mail yesterday. So I will be playing with this and I'll do a review on it. I know a lot of people are, but it is just so pretty. And yeah, they are doing a sale right now, or at least they were yesterday, for 50% off. This one is not on sale, but like the Ooh La La palette and a bunch of the older ones are. Their spring collection just came out yesterday as well. It is not on sale. It is absolutely gorgeous. I am actually going to hold off buying it until it goes on sale because I have so many palettes and it is beautiful, but I have a lot of the same stuff. So I'm going to hold off on it. But the blushes in that series, you guys know how much I love my ColourPop blushes, the Super Shock blushes. I'm very excited. And that palette has apparently a Super Shock eyeshadow in there and pressed glitter, so I am curious about it. It's $18 without a mirror, which is expensive for ColourPop, which I digress, is not that expensive. But I'm gonna wait because they release so much stuff so quickly that it will go on sale in just a matter of time. The purple palette's on sale, for example, and that was released maybe a month ago. I am also going to, when it does come out, the Disney Villains one, I will purchase. That probably will never go on sale. So anyway, guys, thanks you for watching. Whoa, I can't talk today, but tell me what you think. And do you like these kind of makeup review videos? I love doing these. And if you guys like them, I will keep doing them. Anyway, see you guys later.